This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Hello, citizens. I've reviewed a lot of movies over the years, but I have yet to cover anything featuring one of my personal heroes, Adam West. No, that doesn't count. He wasn't in that. My executive producers have spoken, and today we're going to look at Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders. As much as I love Batman, I'm not a fan of how overly dark too many writers have to make him these days. I get it. His parents were murdered in front of him, it kind of messed him up, but you know what? He's also got this rather unorthodox method of dealing with his pain. It's called being Batman. That's a big part of why I like Adam West's portrayal of the character. He acknowledges that it's the murder of his parents that drives him, but he gets a sense of satisfaction from the knowledge that he's making his city a better place to live. The pain is there, but he's working through it. Thankfully, someone at Warner Bros. Animation shares that opinion, and decided to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the old Batman show with Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders. Our animated love letter begins with showing us some classic Batman covers under the opening credits. I know, a DC movie that isn't embarrassed by its comic book roots? How crazy is that? Nightfall in Gotham City. As decent, law-abiding citizens make their way home, the narrator is decidedly absent. Yeah, this movie wants to mimic the original show, but there's no narrator to lead us from one scene to another. Weird. We find millionaire Bruce Wayne and his youthful ward Dick Grayson, voiced by the original Caped Crusaders themselves, Adam West and Burt Ward, tuning in to their favorite TV show, Gotham Palace, which, as it turns out, is introduced by a disembodied voice who sounds exactly like the narrator from the old show.
Welcome to everyone's favorite variety show, the Gotham Palace. And here's your host, that international starlet of stage and screen, Miranda Monroe.
It's nice hearing that voice in a property like this, but why not have him be the real narrator? Anyway, the show is hijacked by Catwoman, the Penguin, the Riddler, and the Joker. Catwoman is played by the original Catwoman, Julie Newmar.
Catwoman needs no introduction.
And while it'd be nice to have the original actors playing the other villains with us as well, the voice actors that they got to play them do a great job.
Careful, you prepubescent pipsqueaks, or I'll give you a taste of my penguin umbrella!
Riddle me this! What kind of band doesn't play music? Answer! A band of thieves.
Oh, sorry, kitties, but the Ho-Daddies have decided to play a smaller venue, the Broom Closet backstage.
Quick, gang! We have to hold these creepy crooks for the cops!
It was on this night when Batman discovered that rock and roll was evil.
Punk is nothing but death, and crime, and the rage of a beast!
Bruce and Dick, with characteristic speed and resolve, dashed to the rescue.
Mercy alive! Why, you'd think you were Batman and Robin rushing out like that.
We were just going fishing, Aunt Harriet.
We find it's a great way to relax from the pressures of being a millionaire playboy and his teenage ward.
Indeed. Now, if you excuse us, Aunt Harriet.
Can you believe the lengths those two go to keep their little secret?
Secret, Mom?
Why, Alfred, you really don't see it?
I'm not even sure if you see it. I mean, do you suspect them of being Batman and Robin? Or did you read Seduction of the Innocent and you think that they're gay now? Spoiler alert, the movie never tells us what she thinks she knows about them. This is a plot point that goes absolutely nowhere. Also, Aunt Harriet here is voiced by Miss Yvonne from Pee-wee's Playhouse. That makes, what, 4 links between Batman and Pee-wee now? Weird.
No need to explain, Commissioner. We're on our way.
Hurry, Cape Crusader. Whoever you may be under that cowl of yours, you paladin of virtue, you're our only hope.
What's a paladin?
They suit up via the bat poles. Oh, if only donning a bat suit was that easy. Then after they exit their curiously backwards bat cave, they drive to police headquarters to decipher a clue left behind by the Riddler.
Poor people have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you die. What is it?
Nothing.
I can't come up with anything either, Batman.
No, Chief. The answer is nothing.
Great. Riddler's a fan of Lost in Oz.
The richest of the Emerald City need it. The poorest of the Western Wastes have it. And if you eat it, you die.
The answer is nothing.
Correct.
And what kind of clue can they get from nothing? Just listen to this.
Robin?
Let's see. 0, zilch, goose egg.
Precisely.
Farmer Jones delivered a shipment of his prize-winning goose eggs to the local market just last week.
They're after eggs?
It's not what was delivered, Commissioner, rather when.
Last Tuesday, which was also the night of the total lunar eclipse.
You see, it's really quite simple. The Atomic Energy Laboratory, headed by our old friend Professor Nichols, just opened a new wing dedicated to the science of total lunar eclipses. And I'll bet my cowl, the laboratory is where those felonious fiends are going to strike next.
And just like in the original show, the leaps in logic that they have to make in order to solve these riddles are absolutely ridiculous. In other words, they were done absolutely perfectly. Later, at the Atomic Energy Laboratory, the villains try to steal this ray gun that can duplicate anything.
Riddle me this! What is black and blue and red all over? Answer! You, if you don't hand over the ray!
Never! It's too important to give to filthy criminal types such as yourselves.
Oh. Sorry about the intrusion then. I'm sorry, my fellow comrades in crime. This fellow says it's too important for us. Let us away, so sorry about that. Batman and Robin show up, and a big flashy fight scene ensues. Gotta love how Catwoman never actually engages herself in these fights. She knows that her most powerful attack is a little flirting.
Oh, Batman, give up this life of excessive do-gooding and join us. A man of your skills could be quite useful to me. Us?
You'll notice that no one is even trying to fight Batman right now. Are they just watching?
Oh, yes, Daddy like!
Just as Danny DeVito would say when he will one day play my character. Just the pussy I've been looking for. Riddle me this. Why are Batman and Catwoman like an ice cube? Answer. Because they're hard and wet.
3 cat women?
Is that so bad?
Of course it is. Now he has to pick just one. Perhaps not.
Hey, works for me. 3 Catwomen sounds a lot more promising than 3 Jokers. Really, New 52? Really? The crooks get away, and Batman and Robin chase them down.
Robin, time to use our trusty Bazooka,
which we keep in the Bat glove box somehow. They make a clean getaway with the duplicator and leave a sheet of tinfoil as another clue for the dynamic duo. They figure out that it could have only come from one place.
Holy Salisbury steak!
Right again, old chum. The Fitzsimon's TV dinner factory is where they're holed up. Let's go.
How convenient that for all of the millions of people living in Gotham City, there's only one factory that makes TV dinners. So they get to the clearly labeled Abandoned Frozen Food Factory, which has a conveniently labeled rusty door, and they use their bat ropes to enter the building instead of using the front door.
Really feeling the burn in the legs, Batman. That ballet practice took a lot out of me.
Thus supporting my suspicion you've been focusing too much on your upper body strength during workouts.
Gee whiz, I have been spending a lot of time on my biceps.
Have you? Because it's not working. And I call foul. A bat walk without some shoehorn celebrity cameo? Boo! Meanwhile, Catwoman exposits that she has a little plan for the Caped Crusader.
I call it batnip. One scratch, and mass muscles will be mine to manipulate.
Gotta love the adult humor that goes right over the heads of the kids watching at home. They have another onomatopoeic fight, leaving only Catwoman standing.
One last time, Catwoman. I implore you to turn yourself in without a fight.
You will be gentle with me, Batman.
You have my assurance I will handle you personally.
And that is why everyone wants to be Batman.
Man cannot live by crime fighting alone.
But first, may I fix my hair? I always like to look good for the judge.
A woman as beauteous as yourself should be allowed to look her best. You've earned that much for doing the right thing.
After falling for this trick for, the 12th time now? She knocks them out, and they come to in a giant frozen dinner tray. I love how these giant props exist for literally no other reason than to serve as death traps for Batman and Robin. She scratches Batman with the Batnip to turn him into a bad guy, but did it work? Only one way to find out.
Kiss me, Batman.
Great Scott! She's gonna make me do something I have no moral objection to whatsoever!
Kissing is one of the most natural things in the world. Some people kiss almost every day, and I'm told.
Batman resists Catwoman somehow, so Joker sets them up to become a giant TV dinner. Holy last meal! Are the dynamic duo destined to die as a delicious delicacy? Can they make another daring escape before their goose is cooked? Thankfully, we don't have to wait until tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, to find out. So how do they get out of this? The lemon tart included with this dinner is apparently so acidic, it actually eats through Batman's bonds. No wonder they shut this place down. How many Gothamites died from their guts melting away? They check back in with police headquarters for any new information about the supercriminals, but instead, Batman chews out Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara for watching a Soviet space launch on TV instead of doing their jobs. They get back to stately Wayne Manor to find Aunt Harriet snooping around Bruce's study, and Bruce fires Alfred for letting her get too close to discovering their secret.
Gosh, Bruce, he's been with you since you were a boy. It wasn't that big of a deal.
An entire city depends on us. Clearly, Alfred had gotten too comfortable here. I suspect a change would be best for both of us. Now, enough sentimentality. There's much work yet to do. To the Batcave! Now!
Great. Not even the classic Batman is safe from modern writers making him an asshole. Then they proceed to double their efforts to find the villains. Come on, old chum. If we're gonna find those malicious miscreants, there's only one way to do it.
Montage! 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 Montage!
But despite all that, they find no trace of their adversaries.
Maybe they've given up. I mean, it's either that or they're not on this planet.
Great Scott, that's it, Robin. Lex Parsimone, also known as Occam's razor. When you have two competing theories, the simplest one tends to be true. So I ask you, did the most depraved, evil, cold-hearted individual throw in the towel? Or is it something simpler? We can't find them because they're no longer on this planet.
Because it's not like they would just skip town or something. The simplest explanation is that they're in space! As it turns out, they actually did hitch a ride into space. You've got to give them some major points for getting to the Soviet country of Belgravia and sneaking aboard their ship in a couple of hours. So they board their bat rocket. I guess Lucius Fox was building them a rocket ship. And they prepare for takeoff.
Initiate bat countdown.
T-minus 10 seconds.
Fire booster rockets. Adjust bat radar dish. Open launch doors.
Not bat launch doors? Look, they actually have a bat on them. If anything deserves to be called bat whatever, it's those doors. The crooks take over this abandoned space station, which was apparently the first attempt at making an international space station, but Cold War tensions between America and the Soviets wouldn't allow its completion. Because they think that Catwoman will side with Batman, Joker, Riddler, and Penguin toss her out the airlock just in time for Batman to save her.
May I assume your twisted teammates turned the tables on you?
Maybe you should assume that she might need the bat thermal blanket or the bat resuscitator, because, Catwoman dead. So they get to the bridge, and the villains reveal their plan of, are you ready for this? Duplicating the entire Earth 3 times so they can each have their own Gotham City to rule. It never occurred to them to just duplicate enough money so they could buy all of Gotham City, or even duplicate themselves enough to have an army of Jokers, Riddlers, and Penguins to take over the city by force. No, making 3 new planet Earths so they could each have their own Gotham City was their plan A. This is the nuttiest supervillain scheme I've ever heard in my life, and I love it.
Let's do this. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
This movie repeats that line from Michael Keaton.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Then Lego Batman repeats that line from Michael Keaton.
You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Hopefully that becomes as classic a catchphrase as, I'm Batman.
Riddler, this is the operating table, and I'm the surgeon.
You can go ahead and keep that line, Frank Miller. They get the supercriminals back to Earth and into police custody, and Batman says he'll be hanging on to the replicator ray for safekeeping.
Once again, we owe a debt of gratitude we can never fully repay, but know that you will forever be... Batman? Where did Batman go?
Bagora, he just disappeared, like a bat in the night.
Very dramatic indeed, and not like Batman at all.
Batman mysteriously disappearing when the commissioner's still in the middle of a sentence? Pfft, they'll never catch on. Then Batman just leaves Robin behind.
Holy hitchhiker! Now, how am I going to get back home?
Luckily, you're in tip-top condition, Robin. It'll be much faster if you run. Once he gets back home, Dick confronts Bruce about how cold he's been lately, and what's Bruce's response? He just throws Dick out on the street. Holy heartbreak, Batman. Then he goes back to police headquarters, where he decides that the only person Gotham can count on to enforce the law is himself.
Now, please remove your uniforms.
Surely you understand the city cannot run without a commissioner-in-chief of police.
No need to worry. I've already found your replacements.
Three Batmen?
Allow me to introduce Gotham's new chief of police and commissioner. Ready to run Gotham with a firm glove, Batman. Bagora.
Yeah, they look pretty silly right now, but there are sillier uniforms that they could be wearing. Oh yeah, styling. But he doesn't stop there. He then duplicates himself again so he can take the mayor's place. My first act as mayor? Spend millions of taxpayer dollars to find who's been stealing my water! Then he duplicates himself again to take over the private sector.
Baking is as much a science as an art. The city deserves a boulanger who understands that.
Batman just took it up a notch. Bam! It isn't long before Gotham has more Batmans than Comic-Con. Robin deduces that Catwoman's Batnip actually did work on Batman, just very slowly, and he goes to her for the antidote. She doesn't like this darker Batman like she thought she would, so she agrees to help him out.
Holy faster pussycat kill kill!
And would you believe that this is the most dignified car that Catwoman ever had? I love the old show, but really? This was the best that they could do? They get to the Batcave where Batman is waiting for them, and I gotta say, it's pretty sad that there's more drama in this fight scene than there is in Batman v Superman. Oh yeah, I went there. Batman eventually gets the upper hand and leaves them tied up inside of the atomic pile. So how do they survive getting pumped full of deadly radiation?
How are we alive?
While you were out on the drive here, I sprayed us both with a dose of bat anti-isotope spray to guard us against any radioactivity.
Oh, just cut the crap and make yourself an anti-death bat spray already. Since they're no match for the Dark Knight, they decide to enlist the aid of Batman's rogues gallery to take him down.
Get a bunch of criminals together to fight the criminals? That's a stupid idea.
They break them out of Gotham State Penitentiary using helicopter pickaxes and helium-filled ball and chains, because science. Then they converge on Batman, who has taken over Gotham Palace. Why did he take over Gotham Palace?
I used to think I'd dress like a bat to instill fear into Gotham's super criminals, but recently I've come to realize that actually I just crave attention.
Ringside table, Batman?
Just looking, thanks. I'll stand at the bar. I shouldn't wish to attract attention.
We're here to stop you, Batman.
And just how do you two plan on doing that?
With a little help from our friends.
Then, as the milkmaid said when she kissed her cow, the show must go on.
And the award for weirdest taste in porn goes to... The Bat cameraman adjusts the camera to fight scene mode, and we get a massive fight between the villains and an army of Batmen, while the original Batman dances the Bat-2C. You'll notice how the fight sound effects are now on separate title cards instead of being superimposed over the fight like how it was done in earlier fight scenes. I guess getting all these villains in one scene ate up the rest of the movie's budget. Despite their best efforts, the villains lose the fight and the Batmen are victorious. Before Batman has a chance to kill Robin and Catwoman with his bare hands, Alfred, disguised as a bellhop for some reason, gives Batman a celebratory bottle of champagne laced with the antidote needed to turn him back to normal.
The bond Alfred and I have is unbreakable, which is why we've had a long-standing arrangement that if I were ever to fire him, it would only be because I was under some evil mind control.
And Alfred's been using that to get away with all kinds of crap for years.
What are you doing? Stop! What are you doing? Stop it! It's ruined. It's ruined. What's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Answer me!
It had to be done, Master Bruce.
Conveniently, the atomically unstable Batmen dissolve into piles of dust, and it somehow hits Batman that it was actually the duplicates of Joker, Penguin, and the Riddler that he apprehended, while the real crooks were running around free to pilfer and pillage.
Holy triple cross!
And if my guess is right, they knew Catwoman's Batnip would work because the Joker spiked it with his own laughing gas formula, making it more potent. Those devilish tricksters needed me as a distraction. But from what?
Knowing those fiends, it's a crime spree targeting Gotham's most priceless treasures and irreplaceable artworks.
Well done, Robin. Exactly what I was thinking.
The perfect crime.
Almost. Let's go.
The last time these supercriminals got together, their minimum objective was to take over the entire world. They get together this time, and their plan is just to steal some stuff. Holy downgrade, Batman. They all meet up after their latest thefts, and in this overhead shot, we see that Gotham was apparently founded in the year 1820. It's cute that they incorporated this city seal from the Gotham TV show and the Dark Knight trilogy, but I prefer Tim Burton's Batman saying that Gotham was founded in 1789. I don't want to have to wait until 2020 for Joker to celebrate Gotham's 200th birthday. Batman, Robin, and Catwoman catch up with the crooks, but they escape using Penguin's umbrella, which can apparently transform into one of the jetpack umbrellas he used in Batman the movie. So some pudgy little thief with an umbrella fetish can create mass-shifting technology in 1966, but super advanced alien robots does it, and it just looks silly. No, I'm not over that! So Batman, Robin, and Catwoman give chase on a couple of whirly bats, personal helicopters from the comics that were so compact that they could fit in the Batmobile's trunk. Why the hell didn't these things ever make it into the show? Naturally, the criminals are getting away on a blimp that looks like a giant penguin.
Robin, time to use our exploding batarangs on those engines.
Holy Hindenburg! If we miss the mark, it'll go up in flames!
Which is why our aim must be true.
No, this is why Batman shouldn't be shy about using guns when absolutely necessary. Sure, you don't want him running around shooting people, But a remote charge that's been fired by a long-range rifle and maybe with a laser sight attached to it could come in pretty handy.
1, 2, 3.
They have their final climactic fight scene on top of the blimp. As much as I love Batman the movie, a big fight scene in the middle of the ocean just doesn't seem very Batman-y, for lack of a better term. I understand that the movie had to be bigger than the show itself, but frankly, this is how the final fight should have gone down. It isn't long before the crooks are taken out of commission, but Catwoman makes off with their loot.
Catwoman, consider the consequences of your actions.
I'll give myself up on one condition.
What's that?
We run away to Europe together, sip tea in a cafe, and live happily ever after.
Wholly unsatisfying ending.
Sheesh, even in 1966, nobody liked the ending to The Dark Knight Rises. But because Catwoman can't go back to jail, she jumps to her alleged death until she and the Bright Knight meet again. For all of this movie's corniness, it still manages to keep the drama of Catwoman meeting an untimely end when she gets away. So the movie ends with Bruce and Dick holding a surprise birthday party for Aunt Harriet, who, again, may or may not be in on their little secret. Then they run off again to answer the call of the bat signal, since God knows the police can't do anything on their own. So that was Batman, Return of the Caped Crusaders. It's one of the dumbest movies that you'll ever see, and I can't recommend it enough. As a love letter to the original show, this movie is damn near perfect. The animation is gorgeous, the writing's ridiculous, the story is a delightful mess, the voice acting is great from the original cast and from their replacements, and it just goes to show that this Batman will never be out of style. They don't even bother updating any of the props or world situations to fit our modern world to try to make this Batman more relatable to modern audiences. Batman's watching a tube TV with dials on it. One of the plot points revolves around the Cold War instead of the War on Terror. This is a period film taking place in 1966, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nor is there anything wrong with a Batman that's actively trying to be a good person instead of just brutalizing criminals and being a dick to his fellow heroes. I heard that before he died, Adam West completed voice work on one more animated film like this, which would also star William Shatner as Two-Face. But whether this movie or that one would end up being his final performance, all I can say is, thank you, Mr. West, for giving us one more adventure with the Bright Knight. We will never forget you. See you later.
Subscribe, like, follow.